The Nile River, winding like a ribbon of ancient secrets, had long been silent, witness to the rise and fall of kingdoms. For centuries, its waters had whispered stories of love, betrayal, and power. But there was one story, buried deep in its currents, that had never been told until now. Amira was a historian, born and raised along the banks of the Nile in the heart of Egypt. Her life had always been defined by books, artifacts, and the stories passed down through generations. But there was one mystery that had eluded her for as long as she could remember: the legend of the river's memory. The legend spoke of a hidden artifact, a golden amulet said to be cursed. It was said that whoever possessed the amulet would unlock the river's ancient knowledge, but at a great cost. Many had searched for it, but none had returned. Most believed it was nothing but a myth, a tale to frighten children. But Amira was different. She believed it was real. She had seen hints of it in the old text her grandfather had left behind. The final clue had come to her during a quiet evening by the river's edge, an old map scribbled in the margins of a centuries-old scroll. It was a map leading to the heart of the Nile's deepest waters, beyond the ancient city of Thebes. Amira's heart raced as she packed her things for the journey. She had to find it, even if it meant confronting the unknown. Her boat, a simple wooden vessel, floated silently down the river as she followed the map's trail. The moonlight reflected off the water like a mirror, casting an eerie glow over the landscape. As she navigated the currents, Amira thought of her grandfather, a man who had devoted his life to the study of the Nile's secrets. He had often told her, "The river does not forget, it remembers everything." The journey was treacherous. The deeper she ventured into the Nile's heart, the more the river seemed to resist. The currents grew stronger, the waters darker, and the air thick with an ancient presence. At one point, Amira's boat collided with a submerged rock, forcing her to row the rest of the way. Her arms ached, but her determination never wavered. As dawn broke, she found herself at the base of a towering cliff. It was here that the map had led her. She could see a narrow cave entrance, hidden by dense foliage. Taking a deep breath, Amira made her way toward it. Inside the cave, the air was cool and musty, filled with scent of ancient earth. Her lantern flickered in the darkness as she carefully stepped forward. The walls were covered in strange carvings, depicting scenes of kings and queens, gods and goddesses, and symbols she didn't recognize. But there, in the center of the cave, was a stone pedestal, and on that pedestal lay the golden amulet. It gleamed in the lantern's light, an intricate piece of craftsmanship, with symbols carved into its surface. But there was something more. A faint hum seemed to emanate from the amulet, as if the river itself was calling her. Amira hesitated. The curse, her grandfather's warnings echoed in her mind. "The river's knowledge is not meant for mortals," he had said. "It will take more than you are willing to give." But her curiosity was stronger than her fear. She stepped forward, reached out, and took the amulet. Immediately, the cave seemed to tremble. The ground shook, and the air became thick with an unnatural heat. Amira's heart raced as the walls of the cave began to crack, revealing hidden chambers filled with ancient treasures. Then, before her eyes, the river began to glow, its waters lighting up in patterns she could not comprehend. Suddenly, a voice, low and rumbling, whispered from the depths of the cave, "You have unlocked the river's memory." Amira's breath caught in her throat. The voice continued, this time louder and clearer. "The river remembers the past, the rise and the fall of empires, the secrets of forgotten kings. It remembers the blood spilled on its banks, the story of lost civilization, and now it remembers you." The air grew colder, and the ground beneath her feet seemed to shift. Amira staggered back, feeling as if the very essence of the river was pulling her into depths. "Return what you have taken," the voice commanded, "or you will become part of the river's memory forever." Amira's hands trembled as she looked at the amulet. The weight of its power was overwhelming. She could hear the whispers of ancient voices, feel the presence of long-dead rulers and warriors. She could see visions of battles fought along the river, of lovers torn apart by the tides of history. With a surge of strength, Amira made her decision. She knew she could not keep the amulet. The river had shown her its power, but at too great a cost. She turned and ran, her footsteps echoing in the cave as the river's whispers faded behind her. When she reached the entrance, the cave collapsed on itself, sealing off the river's memory once more. Amira returned to her boat, the golden amulet still clutched in her hand. As she sailed back along the Nile, the waters seemed calmer, quieter, no longer holding the ancient secrets. The curse was broken, and the river, at least for now, had forgotten. But Amira knew that the Nile would never truly forget. Its memory ran deeper than the current, and the echoes of the past would always be there, waiting for the next seeker to come. The river's story was not over, it was only just beginning.